What's going on YouTube? It's Edward here today talking about the Incursion that was recently released for the Division. And today I'm going to give you the easiest way to beat the Incursion, or at least the way I think it's the most easy. And so let's just get started. So yeah, when you first start the Incursion, you don't want to hang out in that room. You can if you want to, but what me and my friends did was basically we ran out and went straight to this trench area right down here. This is by far what we feel is the safest spot in the game, or in the Incursion I should say, because this trench area has complete cover from the APC. There's only maybe 2 spots that the APC can kill you from, and yeah, and for the most part it can't kill you because there's just so much cover down here in this trench. Plus there's also 2 ammo crates down here that helps you replenish your ammo if you need it. So this is arguably one of the best spots. I know a lot of people like to go into the upper right hand corner that I'm facing right now, but arguably that is not as good as it can be because you're constantly dodging the APC, so that's not good. So from here, we're able to finish all 15 waves pretty easily. I'm not going to go through all 15 waves with you guys. In fact, like once I'm done talking, I'm just going to skip right to the end. So anyways, also, you know, what are the things that you should look out for? So our player build out. So what we did for the most part was that we each all had overheal, and obviously you need the heal because, and if you want to use that over a healing box, mainly because at least we didn't need one, or like a healing station, because what we would do is that we would pop heal next to each other. So instead of usually just hitting L1 or whatever you have heal, super overheal on assigned to, we, instead of just hitting it one time, we would shoot it to the ground so that everyone can get a chance to heal. And we would also always shoot it somewhere close to where our other teammates are. So that way everyone knows where there's always like a healing part. And that's probably one of the best ways to do it because, you know, and we would always just call out to each other, hey, there's heal next to you, there's heals at the bottom of the stairs, just like that, like what my friend just did right there. We would shoot it right towards like a guy's foot. Everyone can run through it and they'll get an overheal, and that was the best way. And that pretty much takes care of the healing part. I don't think we ever, I mean, we died every once in a while, but you know, we never found ourselves in a super picky situation, or like in a pickle, so to say, in a situation where just like, oh man, we're screwed, we're not going to finish this. We had 2 guys with shock turrets. That was me and one other guy, and those are mainly for whenever, at the beginning of each wave, there's usually, every other wave or so, or every 2 waves, there's going to be shotgun guys that rush the area, and you want to put those shock turrets in the middle of the room, preferably against the wall, so that you force the shotgun guy to go into the hallway. And once it goes in, you know, he'll get shocked by the turrets and he'll get stunned, and then you can just unload on those guys. And that's really the best way, because at least what we found, because you know, if you put it too close to them, they can arguably just destroy it real quick, and then, you know, you're kind of out of luck, right? And if you, so you want to put it in so you can draw the enemies in. Let's see, what else? So we also had 2 guys with pulse, and we would pulse at the beginning of rounds, and also, you know, midway through each wave, so that we make sure like kind of like get a range of like what other enemies are still out there. And also, we also want to know what's coming at the beginning of each round, so that we know if there's like shotgun people or not. You can memorize like the order if you want, but I just use the pulse to see like what's coming. And if you don't know what shotgun guys like their symbol is, it's usually the little lightning symbol that's on the side of the screen. So that's the 3rd thing. Lastly, we also all had Survivor Link, and we felt that Survivor Link was arguably the best idea, and we would usually pop that in order. We would, you know, just assign like who goes first. Like I went first, and then my other friend goes second, third, and we would pop those either whenever there's shotgun guys that come in, or we just feel like we absolutely have to. You know, like in case like a certain round, like too many guys just come into our area and we're just getting, you know, we just see that our health is just falling way too quickly. So we would pop those whenever we needed to, and so that's pretty much how to survive each wave. Now, as you know, at the end of like every 4 waves or so, you have to kill the guy that's holding the C4 with the bomb, and you can take that bomb and go destroy the turret. So what a lot of teams like to do is go separate into 2-2, one goes to each side, you know, turn off the turrets, and then one guy go plants the bomb. So instead, what we did was, since we had one guy that was arguably pretty strong already, he was level 204, we have him essentially as a tank. So what we would do at the beginning, when he would grab the bomb, we would have one guy pop overheal on him, and he would run towards like either the right or the left hand side of the APC. Once he gets to the switch, he would pop what's that called, survivor link on himself, turn off the turret, and then run towards the APC, plant the bomb, and as he's running back, you know, by that time survivor link will arguably be off by then, and then, you know, health will start go down. He would, you know, pop his overheal on his way back in, and he would basically just barely make it back to the trench, almost about to die, and then, you know, we would just pop an overheal next to him, and therefore, like, he would just survive. Most of the time, he survived. I would say, like, I think one time he gets down, but he's still crawling towards the trench area, so we get to him in time. So it's not that hard to. So if you don't have a guy that can tank that well, just, you know, do the whole the 2 teams of 2 thing and do it more safely. One thing we also did was we didn't always kill everyone in a wave before doing the bomb, because once you kill everyone in that wave, it starts triggering the next wave like within a few seconds. So we always like left 1 or 2 guys like alive either on the left and right hand side to kind of pretend like, oh yeah, we're not done with this wave. So you know, don't release the next wave yet. Though arguably, I think most of the waves are like they're triggered by time most of the time. Like mostly, like I mean, if you finish a wave super quick, they'll trigger the next one. But if you take too long on a certain wave, it'll just like, and you only have like 1 or 2 guys left, the next wave will just come out, like, you know, and you arguably just have 2 more people to kill at that point. As you see, my friend barely gets back in here after planting the bomb. I pop an overheal for him. He gets it, and now we're good to go again. So we're just popping overheals on each other all day long. And pretty much you just have to rinse and repeat this process over and over again. And once the last wave comes out, arguably we didn't even really bother killing anybody, because we just killed the bomb holder, killed as many people as we needed to in order for like our main bomb guy to get the bomb. What we would do then is pop a survivor link and an overheal right before he runs out, and then one guy would run with him to get the bomb, go to the turret, turn off the turret, pop an overheal. So the guy accompanying him will pop another survivor link, another overheal, so that he gets full, you know, like another super on him. We call it supers. And then he go plant the bomb, and then at that point he can pop another overheal if he wants to, or like survivor link doesn't really matter, because once you plant the last bomb, it's pretty much game over. For the enemy. So once that is done, you know, everyone just needs to survive at that point. You don't need to do anything, just make sure you don't die, so that you don't, you know, start the whole thing again. And once that happens, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about anything, and you get your loot. And arguably that's like, you know, arguably it sounds easier than it really is. Like, one thing you really need from your teammates is the communication. Number 1 thing. I can't stress that more enough. Like, everyone needs to have a mic or somewhere where you can talk to each other so that you know what's going on. If there's always, you know, I tried playing with random people, and it was just so hard because no one was talking on the mic, and no one would and people would mute you too. Like, if you're trying to tell them what to do, like, there's always that one, like, people who like hate, you know, taking orders, but they don't give them either. So they're just like kind of useless players, arguably, who don't know how to play. Like, they're probably very good in PvP. You know, they can run Dark Zone by themselves, but they can't play in a team setting. And for the Incursion, you have to play in a team, and you have to be good at one another. You have to support each other. I mean, that sounds really cheesy, and it almost sounds like, you know, a sitcom or like a TV show. But yeah, no, you have to support one another, because the way they, you know, Ubisoft like made this game is that you have to play in a team. or at least like they made this incursion that you have to play with one another. Other things to just keep in mind that you can start using is like, use your consumables, use your sodas so that you can get back your skills quicker. Use incendiary, and use explosive bullets to take out shotgunners faster. Arguably, I think we took about 45 minutes to get this entire thing done overall. And I think and the only reason it took so long was because, half the time you have snipers or you have enemies who are off in the distance and you can't pick them off really right away. And arguably, like, our team, like, we didn't have like terribly high what's that called, DPS. Like, I think one of the things I don't like about YouTube videos sometimes, like, they're done by like, the really good guys, is that they have so much time to play this game, and they have such high DPS and high health that they don't have to play it safe a lot. They don't have to go as cautious as normal people. Like, for me, I work a 9-to-5 job in an office job, and I don't have the time to play this all day, right? Like, I can only play this for so long, any given day. And so, like, my character, I think the most DPS I had at this point was like maybe 120. I have like maybe 60k health. Like, I'm pretty weak, arguably, for my at this point compared to a lot of the other people. So, and I think if you look at like the character, the armor scores or like the gear scores, or like, we're not that great. Arguably, we're probably average, I would say, at best. Maybe a little bit above average, but there's need to be strategies for normal people to do it with, and you can be level like 160 or gear score 160 and still do it this way. It just might take you a little longer. Like, for me, like, I'm like trying to pepper this guy with my AR, and like me and another guy are doing it, so we're trying to do it the best we can, but it takes us a while to take those people out. So that's arguably what takes the longest for us, is just to take out the enemy. If you have super high DPS and you just need a team that can do this, feel free to add me on PS4. I'm playing on PS4, and I can run through this with you. You just gotta, as long as you follow this pattern, it might take 1 or 2 tries, but once we got the pattern down, like, arguably, this went so much quicker. Like, the second time we did this, we had 2 different guys who had super high DPS compared to what I had. I think they were all at least like 150 and above, 150k, and we were able to mow down people so much quicker. Like, shotgun guys, no problem. And arguably, those games are a lot better, but like, if you don't have high DPS, you can barely get over 6 figures. Then you might want to play a little more cautiously. Try to rig your build with your gear to try to get either more DPS or more health, like whatever you need. Yeah, and pretty much it's just like rinse and repeat. Might take a few tries, like I said. This is not like the perfect solution where like, oh yeah, as long as you do A, B, and C, you'll get 100%. Like, I would say this is probably like 70 to 80% success rate, depending on how good your team is. Like, and again, all about communication, all about working together, telling each other where there's heals. We're constantly shooting those heals left and right so that we can always get overhealed. Because when you get overhealed, it's arguably like a 4th bar to your health. So yeah, you want to just keep doing that, and hopefully you guys can do it. Let me know, and also let me know if you guys can actually get this going. Like, let me know if you guys have trouble doing it. Put in the comments, ask questions. Let me know if something I said that doesn't make sense. But yeah, let me know what happens, and I'll just let you guys see the rest of this video, and eventually I'll just fast forward to where we get the loot. One thing to notice about this loot, though, is that this is before Ubisoft turned off the weekly rewards for first-time accomplishments or whatever. But one thing we found out is that only one person at this point has completed the incursion in our team, and if that person that's completed it starts the game, like you join his game, then you don't get the weekly reward. So you always want a person that has not played the game yet, or not played the game, but hasn't played the incursion for that week, hasn't beaten it. They start the game. You join their game so that you can arguably get more weekly rewards that way. I think Ubisoft at this point, they turned it off because like a lot of people were they were glitching into the Incursion. So they were, essentially milking the sucker for all it's worth. And now, well, I have a whole other thing to talk about in a second, but basically, yeah, like a lot of people were glitching into it and like completing the Incursion without actually playing it. And so they turn off weekly rewards. So once that sucker comes back, like just remember to have the guy that hasn't completed yet to start the game. I don't know how they're going to do weekly rewards after this, but yeah. But because also one thing to note, because there's so many people that has glitched into the Incursion and haven't actually played and completed the Incursion, there's a lot of people with high gear scores, like over 200, that have no idea what they're doing. They talk really big. Like we encountered one of these guys, like one of our friends, or I guess like just some guy we met on here. He was talking big, like he's saying, I can complete the Incursion on hard by myself. And we're just thinking to ourselves, like, that's pretty hard. And like he wasn't exactly, like his gear score was around like slightly over 200. And he talked like as if and you can kind of tell, like all of us has completed the Incursion before, like without glitching. And we can just tell like he's never actually done it. And he talks big, and there's a lot of people out there like that. So just be a little bit more cautious, because there's a ton of people who have not played the Incursion, actually have not actually beaten it, but will pretend like they have. So just word of warning. One last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the ammo boxes on both sides of this the trench. We thought that they didn't replenish, but it turns out they actually do replenish over course a few waves. So just FYI, don't use them all the time, but use them when you guys need them. But they will come back, because we did find ourselves using it at least 3 times. So anyways, here's the end of the game. We have just beaten it. Incursion completed, and we beat it on like the way you're supposed to, and it was a good time. So thank you for watching. Later.